shelter, a perfectly camouflaged hideout, or a bunker can easily shelter 3 to 4 families. So how you feel when all hell breaks loose, be able to call all your loved ones and offer them guidance and shelter. Besides that, the subterranean roundhouse makes an awesome root cellar. You can keep all your food and water reserves year-round. From Shannon to Zaries, you learn how sailors from the 17th century preserved water in their ships for months on end, even years. Now you can use this method to preserve clean water for your family, cost-free. Mike Searson, who is a firearm and Old West history expert, will show you what to do when there's no more ammo to be had. How people who wandered the West managed to hunt 8 deer with 6 bullets, and why their supply of ammo never ran out. Remember the panic buying the first half of 2013? That was nothing compared to what's going to precede the collapse. From Susan Morrow, an ex-science teacher and chemist, they'll master the art of poultice. She says, if you really explore the ingredients in which our forefathers made poultices, you'll be totally surprised by the similarities with modern medicines. Well, how would you feel in a crisis to be the only one from the group knowledgeable about this lost skill? When there are no more antibiotics, people will turn to you to save their ill children's lives. I'll show you how to make another superfood that our troops were using in the Independence War, and even George Washington ate on several occasions. And this food never goes bad. And I'm not talking about honey or vinegar. I'm talking about real food. The awesome part of this, you can make this food in just 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure you already have the ingredients in your house right now. Really, this is all just a peek. The Lost Ways is a far-reaching book with chapters ranging from simple things like making tasty bark bread, like people did when there was no food, to building a traditional backyard smokehouse, and many, many, many more. And believe it or not, this is not all. If you get The Lost Ways right now, you'll receive 3 exclusive reports. It'll be off the table soon. There's an old saying that our great-grandparents used to know. Once in a life, you need a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, and a preacher. But every day, 3 times a day, you need a farmer. So the first report you'll get is what every survivalist should grow in his backyard. This special report contains the most nutritious and toughest plants that you should start growing so you'll never run out of food. These plants are reliable in the worst possible conditions, including drought, flooding, or light deprivation. You'll also find instructions of how to plant, grow, harvest, and store them. I'm also pretty sure you're familiar with this 150-year-old saying that it's not the strongest species that survived, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. So the second bonus you'll get is How to Outlive an EMP, the Early Pioneer Way, which is a day-by-day guide that shows you what to do after an EMP every day for 30 days using the Lost Ways. Think about it this way. If an EMP had struck in the late 1800s, nobody would have noticed it. Our great-grandparents didn't even know what an EMP was, and nor did they know what modern technology was. But they surely lived, survived, and prospered without it. Now, things are a little bit different. And because this event can happen all of a sudden, with no warning whatsoever, it might be difficult, even for the smartest minds, to know what to do from the moment the running water stops and your food spoils to the moment when looters come knocking at your door. So in this report, you'll learn the 10 things that you should do on day 1, what to make on day 2, what you definitely need to turn to on day 3, and so on, till day 30, when you'll be absolutely 100% self-sufficient, protected, and able to help others if you want to. Unless you're living in a bunker full of stockpiles, doing these things in the wrong order may literally mean death. I'll show you what to do every day, so you'll never run out of water, food, or heat, and then what to do or build to improve things day by day. Another old saying people used to say is, for every minute you spent organizing, an hour is earned. So the third report you'll get is a step-by-step guide for building your own can rotation system. It could hold at least 700 cans of different sizes. You will never have to look at 50 cans for expiration dates. You'll never have to throw away cans again because they've spoiled. Can rotator is not only a time saver, but a money saver. As you can see in this video, the mechanism is very simple. And whenever you buy new cans, you insert them at the upper shelf. Cans will automatically roll down. They will be the last in the row. When you pick them up, you do so from the shelf below. So you always pick the can that you bought first, and therefore with the closest expiration date. Cool and efficient. Oh, the one that you saw in the video, I built for only $95. Pretty cheap if you think that a can rotator costs $420 on Amazon. It only holds 450 cans, and theirs aren't even that cool. Once you have the plans and the step-by-step guide with pictures, all it takes is just one day of work, even less. So if you choose to save the lost ways now, you'll also get these 3 exclusive bonuses that are worth $29 each for free, and unlimited access to the members area where you can ask me anything at any time. I'll be there to answer your questions and help you if you need clarification on anything. By knowing the ways of our forefathers, believe it or not, you're covered for anything. You'll never have to spend money on any prepping material again. Forget about unreliable and expensive modern survival equipment. Why even bother reinventing the wheel when these things have been working right for centuries? The Lost Ways prepares you to deal with worst-case scenarios with a minimum amount of resources, just like our forefathers lived their lives, totally independent from electricity, cars, and modern technology whatsoever. Which means you'll be able to be bulletproof against the ever-increasing threat of electromagnetic pulse, a powerful economic breakdown, famines, and natural disasters. You'll have the power to protect and save your family, even to rebuild your community during the worst of times. And the best part is, you don't need to wait for a disaster to happen. The self-reliance our great-grandparents had will help you save hundreds of dollars every month, starting from day one. At the same time, you get to take part in doing something great, saving our forefathers' lost skills. Now, I consider that I've done my part, the hardest and costliest part, if I may say so. All you need to do is make sure to hand this knowledge over when it's time to. Take full advantage of it until then. I've shown it to some expert preppers and readers of mine, and some of them even said that they would easily pay $1,000 just to learn these skills alone. I even thought of creating a weekend workshop, charging at least $500 a seat. There are people that do that, but I realize that that would be wrong, because only a handful of people will actually learn the lost ways. Well, my main focus is not to get rich, but to save these skills by spreading this knowledge to other people just like me. Remember when a man's word was his bond? When you made an agreement and you just shook on it. You didn't need anything more. Frankly, I would like to do things the old-fashioned way, on a handshake. So today, you can shake my hand and seal the deal for a price that anyone can afford. While this video is still up, you can get the Lost Ways plus the 3 bonuses for a one-time special offer of just $37. And the only way to get it is to click the Add to Cart button below now. The way I see it, you have 3 options here. You can hope that things will get better and that a crisis will never strike America. I'm hoping the same thing, you know. But my grandfather taught me better. He taught me, as I told you, to never take anything for granted. Doesn't it seem better to have these skills, never need to use them, than to not have them? One day really need one of them? You can also start spending money and valuable time searching for guys who still know a lost thing or two by going through months of research and lots of traveling. And although it might sound nice at the beginning, these expeditions will take a huge toll on your bank accounts. I spent 5 years gathering and rounding up this lost knowledge. I must say, there were lots of times when I just wanted to give up. Or you can save the lost ways without going through all of this. I've already done the hard part. This lost knowledge has already been packed and is readily available to serve you and your children from now on till the end of time. There's nothing like this anywhere else. So if you want to literally save the lost ways, you know that your family is secured. They have warmth, food, water, and all the other things that they need, even in the worst possible times. This is the only place where you can get it. And you're the only one that can really do something about it. When there's no more electricity, and your neighbors are forced to cook all the meat that they have in their fridges. You'll know the secrets to store it, so your family won't starve next week. Heck, in fact, even now, yes, right now, if you get the lost ways, go to page 25. Start making just one of the super nutritious foods that can last a few years without refrigeration. And I'm not talking about honey or vinegar. I'm talking about real food. And when others start begging for a glass of fresh water, you'll be the only one in your neighborhood able to spare one, or even a glass of beer or ginger beer, just like our forefathers made when the drinking water was contaminated. Go to page 73 and start building your own old-style backyard smokehouse to preserve your own meat, sausages, and fish using your own spices. When the dollar becomes useless and all hell breaks loose, you won't care, because you won't need any money at all. All you need to survive is the lost ways, nothing more. If our ancestors survived the hardest times using only this knowledge, then so will you. Everyone will turn to you for guidance. Everyone will try to barter with you. Everyone will want to use your tools and your knowledge. This is the amazing power our great-grandparents had. It's all captured, jam-packed, and readily available for you in the lost ways. You won't find this anywhere else. There's no way to tell how much longer this presentation is going to be up, so click the Add to Cart button below to secure your copy now. In keeping with the spirit of those simpler days, today you can take advantage of my handshake guarantee, because I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm willing to take all the risk on this one, so click on the button below, go through the lost ways, and when you're done, you have to be 100% thrilled and happy with this deal. If for any reason at all you want to get your money back, you will get it within 24 hours from the moment you send me the request. You don't even have to answer any questions. Simply send us a quick email located in the members area in the next 60 days. Ask for a refund. That's right. You have 2 months to test drive the lost ways and the bonuses. That's my handshake guarantee. So is it a deal? I hope so. Don't let this knowledge disappear into the darkness of time, because in the next crisis, when death will stare you in the eye, this is the only time-tested life vest that you and your family can hang on to. You'll stay calm and protected, and others will scavenge through the garbage for food. My guess is that you haven't experienced a long-time hunger, but you're probably familiar with the feeling of skipping a couple of meals. Not a very pleasant experience. We're not used to thinking about what to eat or how to procure food for our children. Again, don't take anything for granted because we're living in good times now. Our grandfathers and great-grandfathers were the last generation to practice the basic things that we call survival skills now. Why try to reinvent what they did, and did very well, for centuries? There are only a few moments in life when you can really do something big. This is one of them. Our grandparents didn't pass these skills on to us in our bloodstream, and neither will you to your children or your nieces and nephews. Take advantage of this presentation while it's still up, and save the lost ways by clicking on the button below. You're the only one that can change something. Are you ready to turn the clock back to the 1800s for up to 3 years? Because this is what will happen after the next SHTF event. One of my readers, James, replied to this question. I've been looking for something like this for years. Yes, I do believe that some of us are ready to turn the clock back now. Thanks to you, I can truly say that I'm at least a step closer. I cannot believe how many things we lost along the way. This book was an eye-opener for me, and I must admit that there were a lot of things that I was doing or thinking in a totally wrongful way. The brilliance of your book is that it offers a proven way to achieve self-sufficiency without investing any money. Heads up for this book. This is by far the best survival advice I've read so far, and I can't wait to start building and making stuff. James. Well, I just received this email, and it made my day. Again, here's my handshake deal to you. You'll get the lost ways, plus what every survivalist should grow in his backyard. How to Outlive an EMP the Early Pioneer Way, and a step-by-step guide to building your own can notation system, while you'll also take advantage of my full handshake money-back guarantee for 60 days and unlimited email access where you'll get to ask me whatever you want, not for $124, but for only $37. This deal simply can't get any better than this. Thank you for watching this presentation, and I hope we'll meet on my secure encrypted checkout page. Once you've entered your info and submitted that, you'll have immediate access to the Lost Ways and the bonuses. Click on the button below and secure your copy while this presentation is still running.
Next time you see this plant in your backyard, don't cut it down, because this is the best natural painkiller you'll ever find. Some people even compare it to morphine. This common plant is called wild lettuce and was commonly used by Native Americans 2 centuries ago for both food and medicine. So today I'm going to show you how to make a simple wild lettuce extract to keep in your medicine cabinet and use whenever you need it. Now if you take a leaf or stem and squeeze it, you'll see a white substance coming out. This is where the potency of the plant lies. Because of this white juice, the early European settlers also called it opium lettuce. This milky substance doesn't contain any opiates, but it's working on the central nervous system directly to lessen the feeling of pain. Nowadays, many people are turning their attention back to this lost knowledge and use it as a replacement for addictive prescription pain medicines. So let's avert our gaze from our modern survival thinking for just a bit and look at how our great-grandparents did it 150 years ago. This is exactly the kind of information I found in this 350-page book called The Lost Ways. This is probably the only survival book I've actually enjoyed reading. You won't believe how many survival things we've lost to history. I found the wild lettuce on page 113 and decided to make my own painkiller. I collected about 50 leaves today and washed them thoroughly. So the first thing you should do is grind them up in a blender, not very thinly and only just for a few seconds. Place the ground leaves into a wide pot and add just enough water to cover them. Now place the pot on the stove on low heat for 30 minutes. Do not let it boil because you'll destroy all the good stuff in it. Stir every 15 minutes until the water reaches a dark brown color, just like this. Now pour the substance while still hot into another pot through a strainer. Almost none or very little plant material should get through it. Try to squeeze as much water as you can while the plant is in the strainer. This solution contains all the core elements of wild lettuce, especially the pain-killing essence. But it's not concentrated enough yet. So in order to obtain this essence, you should warm it over low heat again until the water is vaporized, basically dehydrating the solution until it becomes a paste like this. Be careful at the end when there is little water left. You should not burn the extract at the bottom of the pot. What you should have now here is pure wild lettuce extract. You can pour it in a small glass container like this and put it in your medicine cabinet for later use when you'll need it. Wild lettuce is unscheduled by the FDA, meaning it's legal to grow, own, and forage without prescription or license, just like how the Native Americans used to heal their pain. In The Lost Ways, you'll find lots of these common and valuable weeds with pictures, how to identify them, how to prepare them, and how to use them, all with different medical effects. Because when the medical system collapses, this will be the only option you have to heal yourself. I personally happen to know the man behind this book. Claude is an old-fashioned guy by any standard. He lives with his wife and 2 children in a log cabin he personally built, cooks outside on an open flame in a cauldron most of the time, and all of his clothes are handmade. He has a 150-square-foot root cellar stuffed with all sorts of homemade canned foods and goods, and he raises cows, sheep, and chickens. I thought several times to myself that this guy will never be troubled by any crisis, because the coming crisis we all prep for is what folks 150 years ago called daily life. No electrical power, no refrigerators, no internet, no computers, no TV, no active law enforcement, and no Safeway or Walmart. They got things done or else we wouldn't be here. In the next 7 minutes, Claude will unearth a long-forgotten secret that helped our ancestors survive famines, wars, economic crisis, disease, droughts, and anything else life threw at them. A secret that will help you do the same for your loved ones when America crumbles into the ground. He's also going to share with you 3 pioneer lessons that will ensure your kids are well fed even when others are rummaging through garbage bins. In fact, these 3 old teachings will improve your life just as they did for me, immediately once you hear them.
Hi, my name is Claude Davis. You may know me from my website,